Welcome back to She's Got Game. On this week's episode, I'm sitting down with marathon 10,000 metre and 5,000 metre runner Calli Hauger-Thackery. We unpack her heartbreak at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, where she was not able to finish her marathon race, and how she then managed to bounce back and get a personal best at Berlin Marathon just weeks later. This episode is a really true indication of what it takes to be gritty, resilient, break through those barriers, and when people tell you you can't do something, you absolutely can. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Calli Hauger-Thackery, welcome to She's Got Game.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you today. Marathon runner, 10K and 5K, right? Have I got that correct?
Yeah, I like to dabble in a few different distances.
What would you say is your current favourite?
Oh, yeah, I can't believe it that I'm going to say this, but it has to be the marathon at the minute. I always joke and say the marathon chose me, but I'm also not sad about it. I really am enjoying it.
What's the funniest or weirdest thing you've ever seen on a race course?
Oh my God, so this is going to be a weird one right from the bat. It was actually the start line for the Olympic Games for the marathon. So this girl, like, we're literally the gun's about to go, and I'm like already a nervous wreck. And this girl gets down in front of me. I don't know what country she was. I can't remember now, but it's like all I remember, like, I thought she was doing a stretch. She was crouched down and she weed on me. And I was like, no, I'm not even joking. And I'm like, is this my bad omen right from the get-go here? I was like mortified. And then the gun goes and I'm like, what the hell has just happened?
You got weed on.
You just casually just weed on the start line. I don't know if it's her like usual thing she likes to do before she starts, but there was so many like opportunities to go to the Portaloo or whatever before, but no, she didn't want to do that.
That is the dirtiest tactic
Why? I was
heard in my life.
mortified.
Oh my God. Did you say anything to her afterwards?
Well, the gun went and then we had to go and I was just like, what the hell has just happened?
I cannot believe if she is listening right now,
Honestly,
there is an apology required.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a running wardrobe fail?
Not so much a wardrobe fail, I don't think, but definitely a makeup fail where I've been like, thought it was a great idea to put mascara on and it just absolutely like rained on me. I got so sweaty and it's just, I looked like a complete panda. And then I have to do an interview after and I'm just like looking, I can't even look back at the interview because it's just embarrassing. Like, and I'm like, why did I do that? But yeah.
Is that like a common rule of thumb now, is no mascara on
Or
race
just
day?
make sure it's waterproof, like if you're going to wear it. Yeah.
What would you say is the most underrated exercise for runners?
For me, I think like anything hip related, anything knees hip related. So I would say the pigeon stretch and anything isometric holds are just like game changer for like, yeah, just activating before and just like gets you really strong. So anything like that, yeah.
It's so funny. I feel like people very rarely think of ISO holds. They're all about the reps and the power, and it's
Yeah, that's got me actually really strong, the ISO holds, like especially because I've got like not the best knees, and I feel like if I'm gonna have some niggle, it's gonna be my knees or my hips or something. So I'm like, if I go hard on the ISO holds, it's game changing.
then you're all good.
Yeah.
Do you have a pre-race ritual or meal?
I guess I used to very much be like so uptight with like certain things I had and like especially in college and things, but now not so much. I feel like as long as it's carb heavy, I used to be always pasta, like pasta, cheese, chicken, like simple pasta dish. But now I'm just like sushi, pasta, like pizza even sometimes. Like as long as it's carb heavy, pretty simple, I'm happy. I'm good to go. And I feel like because I race all over the world, I feel like you kind of not try and be less uptight because you just don't know like if you're always going to be able to get just the basic pasta dish that you're looking for. So I'm kind of glad like I'm like, yeah, low key, just carb heavy. Yeah.
Just keep it simple. I remember, so one of my really good friends ran the London Marathon in April 24, and the size of her pasta dish the night before, I have never seen anything like it.
That's like me. A mound of pasta. I love a good mound.
Yeah, honestly, hers, I was like, there's no way you're going to finish that. She had to do it in a couple of sittings. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite race to date is?
It would probably have to be my debut now, like my debut marathon. I always used to say like the one I made my first com games, just because so much went into making that team, and I was told that I wasn't going to make it and I wasn't good enough, and then they told me to run a specific time, and they gave me only like 2 days, and then I went and ran the time by 1 second, and I was like, okay, now you have to pick me. But I basically did it solo at like a low key race at BMC in England to do it, and that was always like a big thing, and you can tell in the emotion in the finish when I finished that, and I was like, okay, like I've done it, I've done what I needed to do, I am worthy of this team. And I think that was huge, and that was like the catalyst of me making teams again after like a 4 year hiatus.
Hiatus.
Oh my
You
god,
can say it however you want.
But yeah, and then obviously the debut marathon is very, very special. The fact that my husband paced me as well, and it was an iconic day. I just thought that was going to be like a marathon just to get the feet wet, and it ended up qualifying me for the Olympic Games. So pretty
It's
special.
amazing. When you have people telling you that you're not good enough, how does that make you feel? Do you use it as fuel to then go and prove them wrong?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think that's massively been a big part of like why you've probably seen such a breakthrough the last few years. I think being told that you're not disciplined and all these things. And I'm like, you can call me a lot of things, but the one thing you can't say is that I'm not disciplined, because I have been through a journey to get to this level, and I've relentlessly backed myself. So that's one thing you definitely can't say. So yeah, it definitely makes me hungry and makes me just want to, yeah, see him sweat a little bit watching me do well.
What was the response when you did then qualify by that second? What was the response from the people who told you that you weren't good enough?
They just won't, there's no response. That it's like the egos have to, like, they don't say anything, you won't see them, and you won't get a well done or anything from them. It's just like, I don't know, I think that's the thing in this sport though. It's amazing, it's incredible, the community and everything, we're so lucky, but there's also like some big egos, and I think, I'm sure that's in a lot of businesses and different things in whatever we do, but you do see it a lot in sport. And I think, yeah, um I just think let your legs do the talking, and hopefully, and that's what I've always wanted to do. Like I just, yeah, let my legs do the talking, then no one can really comment.
And how did you first get into running?
Yeah, so a typical sports day really. It was just, when they like get you on the cross country, it was like around the school circuit, and I just got told to like do this cross country race, and it was me and everyone, like all the girls, all the boys. I just went off, and like I was nowhere to be seen, and everyone's like, what the hell? Like, and that's when the PE teacher sat me down and was like, you need to join a club, like you need to start running, like you're very good at it. And then I went home to my mom, and my mum was like, oh, I've been waiting for this day. Like, yeah, we'll take you to a running club. And that's when I joined like Hallamshire Harriers, which was my local club in Sheffield. And yeah, it went from there really. That's how it started. Yeah.
And your dad was a very good runner as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really good. His best was like the bronze medal in the World Half Marathon, which was huge. And he had a few British records for a while and things like that. And yeah, he was definitely more distance. More like his thing was actually the half. I would say that was his best event, but like he was the more like marathon. Whereas my mum was a sprinter, and I'm like in the middle.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so when I was born, it just read, we had this article, because that's when my dad was doing his best. So like they came into the hospital and were like, we need a name, we want to do this article. And yeah, on all the local papers, it just read, baby, you were born to run. And it was like, oh, maybe she'll be a middle distance runner and like pick up both genes. And it's just ironic that I am actually this runner, like, and I was very much a middle distance runner, I would say, for a while.
How do you feel like your parents' journey influenced your own?
Yeah, I would say it's more, my mom's been more hands-on from the get-go. Like she was the one that took me to the clubs and stuff, and got me into it. From that, she took me to all the races around the country during the rainy cold days, and like made me get out of the door. My dad just like always has just sat back and just been like, and then now we have like a really close relationship where he's like loving watching me grow into this athlete, but also he's just always been really just told me to enjoy it and just don't put pressure on myself, and the key is in the recovery, and don't, like he's more that kind of way inclined, where my mom is more like, just like she's the one what's really ultimately always got me out the door, and probably been the one who's got me like to this level where I'm now like relentless.
Yeah, I think that is such a good word to describe athletes, relentless. It just
Mhm.
sums up the mindset of elite level athletes so well.
Yeah.
What do you remember most from your early days of competing?
Yeah, I just absolutely loved it, genuinely. Like, I just more just to see my friends. Like, I didn't really take it seriously at all. Like, I don't think I would have known, like, this was going to be my career or anything. I was like,
Mm.
yeah, I just love going to see my friends. And yeah, absolutely, my face lit up just seeing them but also I am very competitive. I won't lie. Like, I was a very competitive kid as well. But I was always like, oh, I'll never beat that girl. I'll never beat that girl. And then a few weeks and a few months goes by of like consistent training, and you're like, oh wow, like I've actually beat it for the first time. And then you start to like pick up this thing, and it's like, oh wow, if you really do put in the work, you see that you do get the results, and you think you're never going to be at that you know that high up in the races. And then I don't know, so it is addicting, but it's also,
Mm.
I just loved it as well.
Do you feel like you got to a point where, so you said initially you didn't necessarily believe that you could beat the other girls. Do
Hmm.
you now have that side of you where you're like, I'm going to beat you?
Yeah, it is, like we said, that relentless word. It is relentless. Like, you do, like, it's always the next thing and the next thing, which is kind of like a blessing and a curse, isn't it? With,
Mm.
it's like, why can't we just be like that? A few years ago I would have been so happy to get to that level or to be that person, and now it's like, but now I just want the British records and I want to be
Yeah.
taller, and like, I'm like, Callie, when will it stop? Like,
But that's so great. I think it's really difficult in sport to be satisfied.
mhm.
Otherwise, you wouldn't become elite level.
Exactly. That's what makes us, yeah, I guess that's what makes you elite, isn't it? It's just that mindset, and that you always want more, you always want to strive for better.
Yeah. When do you think that mindset really revealed itself to you?
Yeah, I would definitely say the New Mexico days is what like really like brought me. It gave me that glimpse of what professional life was like, and what it takes basically. And it was just everything. Like, you've got to be on it with the recovery, the running, like constant every week. It's just always about, obviously we were at university and putting everything into our studies, but you were also like, you want to be the best in the NCAA system. So you're like, and you want to do your coach proud, you want to do your team proud.
Mm.
And yeah, and I think that's where I saw my true potential in New Mexico for sure.
And was there a point prior to that where you really decided you wanted to pursue running seriously?
Um, yeah, I guess it's always been on the back of my mind, but not. I never thought I can't. I would, if you told me that that's how it was going to be, like what I'm doing now, traveling the world, doing fully like a full time athlete. I don't think I would have believed you. I'd have been like, absolutely not. But in New Mexico, you start to see glimpses of what people are doing, and what you're like, well, if they're doing it, why can't I as well?
Mm.
And that's when you start to get more of a glimpse, and definitely like, yeah, it's just exciting. I don't know, it kind of, I can't even think of a time where it would have been. It's just like, if you're amongst greatness, you probably are going to be great. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's, I've been very, very fortunate with, that's what, in New Mexico there were some incredible girls around me, I mean, and
Mm.
guys. And same with when I went to Australia randomly as well. Like, I was amongst greatness again, and that made, I'm like, okay, I can train with these girls, so surely I can race with them, and they're going to the Olympic Games and stuff. So yeah.
Mm. So take us back to New Mexico.
Mhm.
What would a week in your life look like?
Yeah, New Mexico, honestly, like, oh, if I could do it all over again, I would. Like, it was incredible. Like, the coach, the people there, like in my group, like I had Josh Kerr there, like he was in the group, Alice Wright, and then Courtney Frericks, who was a silver medalist at Worlds in the steeplechase. So I was amongst some really good company. But yeah, a typical week would actually just be like, it was such a simple week. Like, Tuesday track session, Friday tempo run, and then a Sunday long run, and then everything in between was just like your classic steady runs. And I used to think 50-mile weeks were like marathon training. I'm like, wow, I'm doing so much. Like, this is great. But I think it was, at the time, it was all I needed. I just think that with balancing everything else was my sweet spot, and it didn't get me to like NCAA champion, but it got me to like sixth in the NCAA, which is pretty good, because obviously it's very competitive out in America. Because it's not just the, obviously it's like an international field, isn't it? It's amazing. It's, to be top 10 in the NCAA is always a big ask. So but yeah, that would be a typical week. And then obviously on top of that, you do some S&C. twice a week, and then a few runs here and there, and then obviously on top of it with your fueling and everything else. But it was incredible. Like the facilities out there, just second to none. Like you've got every recovery thing you can think of, like underwater treadmills, like ice baths, Normatec, like really good physios, nutritionists, psychologists. Like you've got it set up for you. It's incredible.
What distances were you mainly competing in at that time?
So yeah, more mid distance. I think we started off 1,500 meters, and then I would like gradually move as the years went on. Joe was like, "You should try the 5,000 meters," and that's when I went back to the UK and did the English champs. And I ended up winning that race, and I think my first 5,000 meter race was 16:18, and he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be really good at the five. Like, let's go all in on that now." So that's where that started.
I mean, for people who have no understanding of how fast that is, it's wild. Like
Oh,
to
thank
run
you.
5K in that time. It was so impressive. Like I feel like the benchmark for a lot of quote unquote general population runners is can you do 5K in sub 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that is incredibly hard. And you are
Yeah.
doing that 3.5 minutes faster when you are running at that level, that percent, like it's massive. And I don't think people always fully comprehend just how fast runners are going. I was talking about this the other day with another really, really good runner. And he was saying he would love for when races are going on for there to be a speedometer in the bottom, just saying actually how many kilometers per hour you're running. Because then people would get it. It is
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's
wild.
crazy. I don't really look at it like that, but yeah, I know it is like I do think I like we coach as well, and we like honestly we're like sub 20 is amazing. You don't understand, like don't compare yourself to us. I've been doing this a long time, but yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that.
And you said that you then went to Australia.
Mhm.
How did that differ from New Mexico?
Yeah, honestly, Australia was a whirlwind as well. Absolutely crazy time of my life. Wouldn't regret it again. It was just I learned a lot about myself, and like it was amazing though. And I was told if you're going to go to Australia, you have to go with the Melbourne Track Club. Like they're the iconic group out there. Go to Melbourne, train with them. So I just messaged, I just shot my shot, like kind of thing. And like I messaged Nick Bordeaux. I remember like on Facebook Messenger, I've been like, "Hi, I'm coming to Melbourne. Will you coach me?" I actually sent this whole essay as well. I was like, "This is why you should coach me." And then I was like, "I'm probably not even gonna get a response, so he's just gonna say no." But I was just like, "I've got to shoot my shot." And then he messaged me back and was like, "Are you related to Calli Hauger-Thackery?" And I was like, "Yes, that's my dad." I was like, "Thank you, Dad." And then that's when he was like, because he knew because of Sonia Sullivan, his wife. It was like the same era, so he was like, "I know of your dad." So he was like, "Yeah." I was like, he took a shot at me. He was like, "If you want to come and train with us, yeah, let's see how it goes." And bless him, I don't think he knew I was going to stay there 3 years. I think I was like the pebble on the bottom of his shoe for way longer than he thought. But yeah, because I was just going to go for 5 months, but then COVID happened, and 5 months turned into 3 years. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Oh
yeah,
my God. So did you go out just before COVID?
just before, and then it just all took off. And my mum was like, "Girls," because I was actually out with my sister originally, and she's 8 years younger than me, and it was actually her what got me out there, because I was like, "You need to like, you're a bit lost in life, you're a bit of a princess, I love you to bits, but you need to just travel, do things, and you'll figure it out." And she chose Australia, and I was like, "Not a bad idea. I might come with you, actually."
Yeah,
And I
why
was
not?
like, "Why not?" Like, I've seen a lot of America, and at this point, I'd love to try Australia. And so I just was going to go for a few months with my sister on her gap year. And then my mum rang me and was like, "Yeah, girls, you need to come home. It's going to get really bad. It looks like you don't want to be locked down on your own." And I was like, "Mum, I don't want to be locked down in England on my own. I live on my own in England. I just don't want to be locked in my house like that if it's going to be like that." So I'm glad. So my sister went home and I stayed. But
Okay.
yeah.
And then when you were there, you were working quite physical jobs alongside training, right?
Yeah, I know. So they had that weird horrible rule where basically you have if you want to keep your visa there, so you have 1 year work holiday visa. And that's where my face lit up because I didn't realize how easy it was to get that. So I'm like, wow, this is nice. So all I did, fill out a form. I got a 1 year working holiday visa so I could go and work in Australia. So I'm like, this is great. So you could do pretty much any job you wanted. I was doing everything you can think of, like sales jobs, gym, youth classic, like gym jobs, like you name it, I probably did it. Like working in restaurants, like whatever, doing all these jobs, hustling, like. And then 1 year goes by, and they're like, yeah, if you want to stay, you've got to do farm work, and it was 3 months of farm work. And it wasn't just like, it's literally like slave labor, like it's savage that they make you do that. So like you can pick like strawberry picking, or but I always got really close with my German, like this German girl I knew out there, and she was like, I found us a job. Let's just go out. Let's just tick it off, and then we can stay for another year, and we don't want to go back." So I'm like, okay, like whatever we've got to do. COVID was pretty crazy at the time, so we were like, well, all right, COVID is happening. Might as well do it, and it's still a job what's going. So, and yeah, we got paid peanuts, and I was cutting down pine trees, what were massive in the open forest in Australia, and I literally had these big shears, and I was just cutting down trees for 8 hours a day.
It's just wild that they make you do that, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
it's a really interesting rule. I think they've cut that now.
Yeah, they have. At least they have for British people, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How do you feel though that being in a situation like that, which is quite rare, you will probably never have to do that again, and I don't think any other Brit will have to do that again because you paved the way and now it's been sacked.
I know. I think he sacked the 1 year after, and I'm just like, for God's sake.
Did it? Oh my God, no, I'd be fuming. But how do you feel that shaped you as an athlete?
I think it just shows like, yeah, I can pretty much, you can put me through anything. Like, it did, again, the relentless word. I am just relentless, and if I have to do something to make, because if it fits, like I just genuinely did want to stay in Australia. Like I had this amazing group, and I wanted to be with that group, and I would have done anything, obviously, to like to do that, to make my running work. Because I finally, it's like I was chasing that thing after New Mexico. I wanted that again, and I got that again in Australia with Nick Beddoes' group. It was just incredible. So I really did want to stay, and I think if you want it enough, like you'll do whatever it takes. And I think that's what it taught me.
And then what made you decide to leave Australia?
Yeah, so I'd been there 3 years, and obviously it was an amazing time, but like because of COVID, it genuinely like felt, they do say it's the land down under, don't they? And I think I not realized how isolated it was feeling. And I'm like, I don't not see my friends or family in 3 years. Like it's such a long time. And I was like, I do need, it's been a whirlwind, and it's been amazing, and I've had the time of my life, but I also need to like, and I also wanted to start making teams. Finally races were going again. It'd been 2 years and I couldn't race, like, I'd not raced for 2 years. So I was like, right, this is the time. I want to make teams. There's no messing around. I want to be in my GB vest. I want to be making European teams, Commonwealth Games. I know I can do it. And I did. When I started racing again, I had this crazy breakthrough after an injury, and I genuinely, like, honestly, like, I was running times I'd not run in ages. Like, I'd not PB'd in 4 years. And then I had this big breakthrough. And then that's when I went back to the UK. And then I was relentlessly, I was like, I'm going to make this team. No one's stopping me. So yeah, and when I made the Com Games team, that was like, finally, like, that was the moment where I was like, okay, I can breathe now. Like, I've finally done it. Like, I am going to, like, get back to, like, being up there and I don't know. It was just a big moment. And kind of like, then I realized I'm like, maybe I should, be back in the UK now and start training here again and racing here, and just kind of makes more sense.
What was it like not being able to compete for 2 years?
So hard, yeah. It was really hard. And then they like put races in there in the calendar, and then they wipe them away because they would have a 3-day lockdown again, and then they were like, sorry, race cancelled. And I'm like, oh, you kidding me? You get so close to finally. But obviously with that, I was training like a maniac, because that's all we could do. All I could do was train. So I think it actually made me into this like relentless athlete, where I just was like so robust and strong, and like nothing was going to stop me. Like, that's all I had. But then I was like, after that, I was like, but now I want to make every team there is. I want to do every race there is. So that's where I think, like, that's why you see me racing so much. Like, because there was 2 years where I couldn't, especially in Australia, like, it was just a crazy strict lockdown, and it was mad. Like, we couldn't go anywhere. We were literally stuck. So, and then they just kept cancelling races all the time. So, yeah.
What is it about racing that you love so much and that you missed?
Yeah, I just love it. I think it's more, not obviously like to get the competitive juices flowing, but also just, I get so much out of it. Like, and I think it also makes me have, because I have no chill in training. Like, I'm one of those, I'm just like, especially with marathon training, like week to week to week. So I think it makes me just taper, like, and take a step back and then taper, freshen up for the race. And then when I do the race, I'm like, okay, like, um, whether it's an A, B, or C rate day, like, I'm gonna get a lot from this, no matter what. You're gonna get more from it than you would in a typical training session. Like I do, I get so much from racing. It just elevates me to another level. Yeah.
Mm. Is that how you rate how well your race has gone, A, B, or C?
Yeah, typically I think like, yeah, you know, when you've had like your A day, you're like, oh wow, like, and you're dead on the floor and you're like, wow, and it's empowering and you just know you gave it absolutely everything and it was a great day. It could have been a PB or whatever, but and then yeah, there's a B day where I'm like, maybe I've not built that goal what I was absolutely searching for, but it was still a solid day. And then your C day, it's like, but you know what, I learned a lot from that and still got stuff from it. So
Mm.
yeah.
How did you develop that mindset? Because I feel like that's a really healthy way of looking at it. It's not just A or B, where A is good and B is bad. There's a
Yeah,
scale and none of them are bad. Even your
exactly.
lowest grade that you've given yourself is I've learned something from it. Who helped you develop that mindset?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I think I don't know where that came from really. I think my husband and my coach, obviously, like he's very, we've created this really healthy like thing together, and like I think that is just, he knows me now and he knows that I thrive in races, and it's so funny because we are the opposite as well. Like he's, bless him, his bones are against him, so he can't always be on a start line like I can, and I'm very fortunate that, you know, that I have been able to race so much. But I just think if you look at it, like I've always been quite happy go lucky though in life. Like I'm very, like my team in New Mexico, they always knew me as the happy go lucky athlete. Like I wouldn't even know where I'm going half the time. I'd be on the plane, someone would ask me where we're going. I'm like, I don't know, I don't really care. Like somewhere in California, I think. Like I've always been like, think less and like I'll do more. So like my college coach, even back then, would be like, Calli, like when you underthink, big things are gonna happen for you. Like, but when I'm like having a chat with him, being like, oh, so like who do I want? Who do I need to be racing with today? Or da da da. As soon as I'm like that, I'm not gonna run well. So he's like, just like I don't know. So I need to like just underthink. So I think I take that mindset and just, because at the end of the day, like I can't control what anyone else is doing. I can only control how I'm gonna run on that day. Like, so I just think we all need to think a bit less sometimes. It's not always, well, look, it's just a simple, it is such a simple act, isn't it, running? I just think sometimes let's just simplify it. Let's just, yeah.
I absolutely love that. Think less, do more.
Hmm.
At what stage did you start working with your husband?
It was about 2 years ago now. Yeah. Yeah, it was the best thing whatever happened, I think, because I had a few ego coaches before, like a few, they're always going to get it. And like, and I've had, like, even my college coach, for example, is amazing, best thing ever. I only say good things about him, but he's very much like business minded. Like he knows that you just have to go to the track or go to the place, just do the session, and that's it. But you're not really going to get emotional support from him. But I didn't really need it. I'm just like, I am one of those, just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. But then when you do get a coach what actually cares about the feedback every day and the emotional like side of things, and he understands you and like how you tick and like delves into the big picture together, I just think it's so special that now I've like actually got that. And obviously, yes, he's my husband, so obviously that's what you would expect, but at the same time, like he has no ego in this game, and like, and that's what I love about him. And he's just like, I don't know, like we just delve into it together. Like if I have a bad day, we're like, okay, like let's sit down, like why did this happen? And just to have that, like I don't know, it's pretty special, and like we're on this journey together. Um yeah.
Do you feel like having had a bit more of that emotional support, you've now changed your approach to training and racing?
Um Probably the mindset shift has been massive. I think that's been the biggest thing. Just having someone where we really do work collaboratively. I feel like I've got so much more, I'm more empowered now. I'm more like, this is more like, he always says like, athletes are only going to really do well if they feel like they've got some authority as well, and like it should be a collaborative relationship. It shouldn't just be the coach being like, this is what you've got to do and this is how you've got to do it. If you don't listen to me, like you'll fail. It's not. It's like it is collaborative, and every athlete is so different. So you've really got to like work out those layers and figure out like how they tick and like what kind of like mindset approach they need. And there's so much to it, and obviously, yeah, I just think that has massively like been a game changer, like in how I go. Like now I just go to every race with my husband basically, and I'm just like ready and like, okay, or like I'm doing this for like, it's not just for me anymore, it's like for us. And it's just exciting. I just love it, especially when it gets to pastry as well. That's always fun. Like
It's just
yeah.
so cool that you have such a special relationship both in and out of the sport. I think it's so rare for people to be able to manage that dynamic in a way that works, but you
Yeah.
do. And I think
Yeah.
when you can do it, it's the coolest thing ever. Did he have any part to play in your transition from the 5 and the 10,000 up to marathon distance?
Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, I spoke about it for like a few months prior. I was like, maybe this is the year I should try. I think though a lot of people have looked at my biomechanics and my family history, and they've all said you're a marathon runner. Like I've had several coaches tell me, they were like you're great at the mid distance short, but like you're gonna make it in the marathon. And I'm like, no, like maybe one day, maybe one day. And I was just never fully ready. And then when I started really loving the halves, and I was like, okay, like maybe. And then when I came seventh at World Half Marathon Champs, I was like, okay, like I'm like seventh in the world now for the half. Like let's see what the marathon's all about, and like if I'm any good at it. But that's the longest I've ever gone, and obviously it's double the distance, so it's still really daunting. And I just did not know how I was going to do. And I would say if you looked at my training on paper, I was not training for the marathon. So I was like, I was more like a speed demon. Like I love my speedy stuff, and like, but also love my long runs though. So I've always been like a big long run girl. Like on a Sunday, I've always like got up to like 20 miles, and 20 miles feels just like another run now. So I guess that I kind of knew that maybe I would love it. But then anyway, so I get that I get there, and I'm just like, I don't know. I put all my trust in Nick that day for it to go. We just had a little discussion. We're like, yeah, I think this is the year for you. Obviously, these half marathons have been going well. Let's just get your feet wet, see how we go. And I don't think any of us could have predicted that it was going to be a 2:22 performance. Like I think on a good day, we were like probably all thinking around 2:25. So when I saw the clock, I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, to this day, I don't know how I did that, but I think we just paced it to perfection as well. And like it was really special just having Nick there, and he's done a few marathons and he gets it. But it was funny because like on the warm up, I was like, look, Nick, I'm not going to be able to talk obviously like much, so I'm just going to give you signals. I'm going to give you numbers. So if I say a 5, it means that if like middle ground, if I say a 6 or a 7, I've probably got some stitch or some stomach issues, just come back a few seconds. And he's like, okay, got it. And then every few miles I'm going, I'm still at a 3, Nick, I'm at a 3. And he's like
Any danger?
yeah. And he's like, I understand. No, he's like, because 3, obviously 1 means like you're absolutely fine, you jog in, like. So I'm like, I think 3 is fair. So I'm like, I'm still feeling really good. And he's like, I understand, Calli, but you've got a long way to go. This is the marathon. You're still not even halfway. Like, you've got a long way to go. And then I get to 18, and I'm like, I'm still at a 3, Nick. Can we please go now? But he was subtly picking it up without me knowing. Like, he was just like, subtly, it's like, she's fine. I'm going to subtly pick this up every 5K. And then I was like, I got to 18, and I'm like, everyone was saying like with a marathon you're gonna feel it at some point, like, and it's normally around 18 to 20 miles. That's when it truly starts, like the legs, like. But honestly, if you have your legs under you in 18 to 20 miles, it's the most empowering thing. And I just did somehow. I was like, well, I was waiting for that thing to happen where my legs just aren't there anymore. But I was feeling great. So I was like, Nick, I want to set the world alight today. I don't just want a 2:25 performance. I've gone all in now. And you just never know when your next marathon's going to be and stuff. And so I just knew like I had to give it everything. And I just sprinted like I've never sprinted before. Like, I don't think honestly, like, I think I don't even know this. I can't remember the splits, but it was crazy. Like I just was so lucky though. And he also was just like winding it up in such a way where I was like, where he was very conservative at the start, but then I was able to have so much at the end, and that was just empowering, and it felt really good. But obviously, if Nick wasn't there, I probably, yeah, if I'd have gone on my own, I'd have probably just been like gone. Gone from, I don't mean like telling myself that I'm at a 3, like,
Yeah.
right, let's go. And
Pick
then
it up.
died.
Why did you choose that particular course for your debut? What was it about it?
Yeah, I don't know actually. It just seemed like interesting. I was like, I know it was like the first like time they've ever done that event. And it was everyone thought it was a psycho because it was like 3-mile loops around a lake. But I just thought if I'm like practicing fueling for the first time and things like that, that's all quite daunting to me. I've never really practiced fueling properly. I'll admit, I just wasn't. So I just thought if I can have it the same 5K on this loop every time, it's just easy and it's not overwhelming because it's not a massive race. And I just didn't know how I was going to do. So I was like, it's nice and low key and it's in New York and it's like they had some good incentives in it and things like that. But it was genuinely just so fun and it reminded me of my home lake, like because I do these 3-mile loop lakes back in home in the UK, and I would just that was all my tempo runs and sessions, and it was for my dad as well when he was a professional runner, and we're like, yep, Rother Valley Lake, like, and it reminded me of that. It was genuinely so similar, so I could get my head around it, I guess.
And then something you said after your debut was that you were aiming for B+ training to achieve A+ results. Can you elaborate on this philosophy?
Yeah, I think if you shoot in for perfection all the time, especially in training, like you're gonna get to the race and you're gonna have left a lot of it in training. I just think there's only certain times where you need to be doing A+ training. I just think like we're not ever, like me and Nick, like as coaches even, we're never looking for perfection. It's more about like with our own running and obviously our athletes as well, but it's like it's not always about chasing perfection. Like if we put like a guide of what we want your paces to be, it's never like we just want the effort to see the effort week on week out for a long time. And if you're going to do that, like we're seeing that now with me, for example, like I've been the consistent I've ever been, and I want to touch wood while I'm saying this. I need to touch wood for a long time, but I think it's because I'm not shooting for A+ sessions all the time. I'm not putting myself in a hole, or I'm very smart with my training and what we want out of it. But obviously there is times where you do want an A+ day because you need it for your confidence going into your A goal race, for example. And I think there's times for that. But I think as a whole, I think I don't expect, or Nick wouldn't expect A+ days off me all the time. And I just think that mindset helps me as well. And then normally like the races do go really well if I'm in this really good solid block and rhythm.
And would you say there are any lessons that you learned from your more track focused and shorter, or middle distance still, but a lot shorter than marathon distance, that has then helped or has been advantageous when it comes to racing in the marathon?
Yeah, I think as well what we're seeing is the marathon, the game's changed. Like it's shifting in these world major marathons or championship marathons. Like you've got to have that fast twitch at the end. Like you'll see a lot of the Africans, a lot of these top girls who are in that pack. You've got to have a sub-5 in you on the last few miles of the marathon, which is mental to think of. But if you haven't got that, and that's why I still train that a lot. I still train my fast twitch and this is why you'll see me on the track and things, because that helps my marathon. It gives me that edge, I think, for sure. I think it's, if you can keep that fast twitch going, even in the midst of marathon training, I think you're going to be really strong. And that's where it's all about having your legs underneath you, isn't it, for the last few miles. And if you can not only have your legs underneath you, but throw down a 5-minute mile, you're going to be in a good spot and you're going to be competitive.
It's fascinating to me, that side of thing, because I do think a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen it, but we're in a bit of a phase of people running long, but slow, and then missing that fast twitch fiber training. What would you advise for people who are listening to this, who are doing their kind of Sunday long, slow, steady runs, but aren't really doing any of the faster twitch training?
Yeah, I just think variety is key in everything, like especially in training. Like if you're just doing a steady state run every day. You're not really practicing that like race pace. Like even if you do it in like increments, like small 1 minute on, 1 minute off, like if you can even do that and just feel that like race pace, you're going to get so much out of it. It doesn't have to be for 10 minutes straight, but if you want your goal, like let's say half marathon goal pace, you do need to like, you will need to like practice that in training. You can obviously get some fitness from steady running and consistency, but I do think truly like the stuff where you're going to get that power and get that edge is going to be in the short, in the shorter stuff. And I just think it massive, and it gives you the confidence, and running fast is fun, like I think. But
I could not agree with you more. Oh my God. So I was saying earlier that I'm training for the Copenhagen half, and I have been doing, majority of the stuff I've been doing is threshold stuff and speed sessions.
love it.
And I feel so good for it. I honestly think if I had just gone and done the slow steady, I would not be anywhere near as fit as I am now. And I also would not have nearly as the same amount of confidence as I have now
Yeah,
that I can run the target goal race
exactly.
pace.
That's amazing. I know. I genuinely think that's the trick. Like, and just enjoy getting to do that. It's fun, and you get so much from it. And then you go into your race now, like you said, and you'll have so much confidence about doing those paces.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's like, oh, I can run fast
Yeah,
and I can do that for longer than I thought I could. It's a really nice feeling.
exactly.
So you then went on to represent Team GB in the Paris Olympics
Mhm.
last year, which is amazing. What was it like stepping into the Olympic Village for the first time?
Yeah. Oh my God. So overwhelming. It was incredible, but genuinely absolutely amazing. But and the fact that it was in Paris, it was really cool, and it was like, oh my God. But I don't think anyone, like especially your first Olympic Games, no one can prepare you for like the overwhelming feeling you have like going into the Olympic Village, and actually like when it's getting nearer and nearer to your event, what you're prepared for, you feel like your whole life. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, this is real now. Yeah, it was mental. Like obviously they do an amazing job, and like, but you are just literally just amongst all these athletes. You literally, it's like I'm saying bye to Nick, and we've all these like I'm taking my cases in, and I'm like, bye, I'm not going to see you now for several days. And he's been my like, obviously the husband, the coach, the chef, the physio, everything in this, and I'm like saying bye, and that's it. When you go into that village, you're not coming out. Basically, they are quite strict, and well, they are really strict, and for good reasons. But yeah, so it's so overwhelming. I mean, we're lucky. Like British athletics has an amazing team, and obviously, like there are many friends within the village, and not just in British athletics either. Australia, everywhere. So I do love it, and I am an extrovert. But when you are getting ready for a marathon, you need to be as selfish as possible, and almost like a sloth, because if you want to conserve any ounce of energy, that's what you need to do. And I think
Mm.
like that was the hardest thing for me. Like just like now I will do things so much different going into it. I will have to be selfish. It's like you see it with the athletes, like certain athletes. I don't think she'll mind me saying this. Eilish McColgan, for example, like you won't see her until after the race. She's got her eye mask on, she's in her own room, and I don't know how she does it. I think she must get room service. I don't know how she does it, but she's like, you won't see her in the dining hall. Like you'll only see it after the race. And I'm like, that's how I need to be, because every marathon, what's gone well, and this is my second ever marathon though at this point for the Olympic marathon, but also like every marathon from like in the past, it's all been me in my hotel room with Nick, being an absolute sloth, not wanting to see many people, and just conserving my energy. Like, and with the Olympic Games, you want to be a team player. Like you want to cheer on your friends, and it's emotional. So much goes into it. And I'm there like 9 p.m. night before my race, my Olympic marathon the next morning, and I'm screaming Georgia Bell on, crying my eyes out, like literally can't control myself. And my physio's behind me is like, Calli, I think you need to just calm down. Like maybe just go upstairs now, go get ready for the morning. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. I probably do. I needed to be in bed a long time ago, and just being selfish. But it's hard. Like you really do like want to watch everyone, and it's the Olympic Games. Like you want to see how everyone else is doing as well. And I think, yeah. So it was very overwhelming to say the least, to answer
Mm.
that question.
What was the build up to the marathon like without having Nick there with you in the village?
Yeah, the build up itself was absolutely incredible. Like everything, like physically went well. Like that's why I was like, this is going to be fine because my fitness will carry me through. And I think I've always relied on my fitness to carry me through. But when it's the Olympic marathon and there's so many other variables like the heat and that course, the course was absolutely brutal. Like the fact that they wanted to make it this historic marathon, I'm like, that's wonderful, but you also are savage because this hill is a wall, and I love hills, but like because I'm from Sheffield, I love my hills, but these weren't normal hills, and it was on the 18th mile, and there was a hill like a wall, and like it was just, and it went up for over a kilometer,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, it was horrible. I can't even tell you. I was like, this is mental that they're doing this course here. But at the same time, cool. Like it is,
It's
historic.
iconic,
Yeah,
but it's so hard.
yeah. But they're like, well, you get to go through you get to go see the Eiffel Tower, and you get to do this. I'm like, that's great. But I've also
I'll
got
see
to,
it after.
yeah, exactly. Oh my god. So yeah, everything had gone well training wise, which is why I thought I'd be okay. But obviously there's always things like in the background, like things happen, and obviously there's all these things. I've been pretty open about it in the past, and like my mum was, like, I found out 2 weeks before that my mum was going through cancer and things like that, so that massively affected me mentally, unfortunately. And then with that, my sleep went, my appetite went, and it was just going from bad to worse. So like being away from Nick then was really hard, because he's my comfort blanket ultimately. And then when you go into the village, it's like, yeah, you want to be a team player, you want to be involved and take it all in, don't you? It's the Olympic Games, you want to take every moment in, and I just felt like I couldn't. So I just think that's the sad thing about it. Yeah, I don't know. It was a crazy time. Like I genuinely do, like I do have amazing memories from it as well. Like obviously, like without the result, like other than the result and what happened, I do have so many takes from it. I had so many memories, and I will take it to next races. And I think that's why we've seen I am like pretty like, yeah, I think when things happen like that at DNF, or I'm told I can't do something, that's when you see me at my best, which is crazy. And it's sad that it took something like that for me to DNF at the Olympics to see these wonderful results after. But I think it did make me I learned a lot about myself in the process. And I think going into the next Olympics will be very different. So,
Can you talk us through the race? Like, how were you feeling? What was going on with your mind and your body?
yeah. And like I said earlier, like I've always been this happy-go-lucky person, and I think I lost that, and that's what frightened me the most. I got to the Olympics thinking, why aren't I like so excited right now? I've been excited for every race, like for the last few years. Why do I feel like I'm about to go to war? And I'm like, this isn't right, this isn't me. But I think that was just the lack of sleep, and then like your body does some weird things when you lose sleep. You lose appetite. I was in a calorie deficit probably because I was forcing every meal down. I just remember warming up and like I don't feel right, and I felt like really hot. I felt like I was overheating even in warm up, and it was only 15 degrees at that point because I looked at one of the BA guys who was with us and supporting us that morning, and I was like, "Are you really hot right now?" And he was like, "Calli, it's warm, but it's not that warm. Like you're gonna be okay. And plus, when you start running, you'll feel the breeze. There's ice bags. There's all these things on the course. What's gonna things out there to support you in the heat. You're going to be okay." And I was like, all right, I'll be fine. But I just remember when they called us up, I was absolutely terrified. And I'm like, why am I like this right now? I should be so pumped. Like, I am about to be on the Olympic marathon start line. This is huge. And I'm literally like bricking it. And I was just praying that my body would take over and the fitness would take over. And yeah, I just didn't feel good from the start. I just kind of like had this horrible feeling. I was like, my body's not like, it's doing some weird things, and I knew it was gonna not gonna be good. And the sad thing is like, I didn't do all that crazy training I did and get into that the fitness I did to come 80th or to come last or whatever. Like I trained like people who were watching me in my circle, they were like, "Oh my god, you're in the shape of your life. Like this is going to be amazing." Like, and I felt it though. I genuinely backed myself, and I was like, "No, I think anything less than a top 10 performance would be a bad day." So when I was like not even, I felt like I was like running way faster than it should have felt, and my heart rate was just like elevated from the get-go, and I was like, this is a warning sign. And also when you're feeling like that so early, that's not down to fitness, that's down to like there's something going on. Do you know what I mean? And so I knew when I made the call at around 17 miles, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, to make the choice to pull out of the Olympic marathon. It was heartbreaking, but it was like, if I knew though, if I'd have gone a step further, I wouldn't have had a season. It was going to be like me trying to finish. And that's not what I'm about. I'm not one, I don't just try to finish just to finish. Like I meant business. And when I couldn't give that, it was so sad. And I just like, yeah, my body was giving me really crazy warning signs, and I knew I had to stop. So yeah, that was a horrible decision, but at the same time, it was the right one. And then luckily, not long after that, I was able to show a really solid performance and get a big PB on the marathon. So it was the right one, but yeah, not a fun thing to do.
I honestly think that making the call to not finish a race is way braver than pushing through the
Thank
discomfort to
you.
finish it.
I
I just
appreciate
think,
that.
yeah, it really is, because, like you said, it wasn't just the 4 years prior to the build up, it's
Yeah.
your entire life you've built up to the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's your time to shine on a world stage, but you knew, you had the foresight that if you did that, you wouldn't then have a season and you wouldn't go into PB like you did. What did
Yeah.
you learn about yourself by making that call at the Olympic Games?
Yeah, I think in the moment it was just exhaustion. Like my first feeling was just exhaustion, and just I just had to like clear my thoughts and like regather my thoughts even, and fully think about what I am going to do now. It felt like my whole world has actually just collapsed for a little bit there, but all I wanted was to go home and be in my safe space and figure things out. And yeah, it was just, and then my things just went from bad to worse as well, like at home and things like that. So I was just like, oh God. But at the same time, the one thing I do have is my running, and then that's when you have to dig deep and remember your why and why you do it. And I do feel very fortunate to get to do this. So I was like still showing up every day and like not doing anything crazy. It was very much C- sessions and runs just to like get through it. But I knew that fitness was not going anywhere. I knew that's the one thing what was keeping me going. I'm like, that training is there. Like it's the one, like, yeah, the result is shit. It's bad. It's heartbreaking. It's embarrassing. I was feeling all these things, but I knew the training I'd done that's gonna take me places. So I took that with me. And Berlin, I was a wreck. Like I was still mentally like not in a good place. But I literally like remember my why, remember why I do it. And I just remembered the training I'd done, and I was like, no, this isn't going to waste. No way. So to do that and to get on the line was huge. And then when I saw the time on the clock, and I was like, okay, that's now put me second all time Brit. Like I can be happy now. Like I felt like I got some. It kind of it softened the blow of what happened, I guess.
But like you said there, getting to the start line was huge,
Yeah,
let alone finishing and getting another PB. Just getting to the start line after something big like
yeah,
that is so major. And that in itself, what it would have, well, first of all, what it took to get to the start line, what you've done to your mindset there is massive. And then to
yeah.
complete the race with confidence in the way you did, I just think is so inspiring.
Thank
Do you feel like that combination of races where one didn't go how you wanted it to one you then proved yourself, you've got this, has that shaped your mindset in any way differently to how it was before going forwards?
Yeah, I think it showed me a lot about myself, because I didn't know. Like I had to fight a lot of demons that day to get to the end, and then to for it to be a PB as well was massive. So I was very proud of like what I achieved in so many ways that day. And I think it shows how strong we are as human beings. Like even if you think you're absolutely nearly at rock bottom, like if you want it badly enough, like you will find something else to make sure but it was purely for me. I needed to do that for myself. It's like one of those, it's like they say, if you have a bad thing happen or you have a car crash, you need to get in the car after. And if you don't, like, you're probably not going to get back driving again for a long time. So it was like one of those, and that's how I had to deal with it. It was, I have to rip this Band-Aid off and do this for me. And when I did it, it was just a massive relief. And it showed me a lot. It definitely taught me so much about myself and how I am, and all these things in the past have obviously shaped me to the now and made me really tough and relentless. And which, yeah, is pretty amazing to think. And yeah, I think this whole year as a whole has been, I think it is because of that, of the good. But that's what it shows you, doesn't it? It's not just always like this plain sailing thing. Like, we all want that, we don't love that, but obviously it is, and all of it is worthy. You know, we need to have some of the failures. We need, you know, it's not, I think they teach you so much more than the actual success stories. Is what I definitely got from that.
I just think listening to someone of your level of sport saying this is just major for everybody listening. Just taking that in, taking a second to go, it's not linear progress. There will be undulations, and that's fine. That's part
Yeah,
of it, because when you
exactly.
push through that and come out the other side, you're even better than where you were before. With marathon training, I can imagine it's a hell of a lot of volume as well as the intensity of the speed stuff. How do you balance that to the point that you're still pushing hard enough, but you're
Mhm.
still not pushing too hard that you hit burnout and injury?
Yeah, I think that's always like, there's always like a fine line, isn't there, with the marathon training. But funnily enough, like, I genuinely don't think my 5K training to my marathon training was as big of a jump as what you think. I've always loved the quality over quantity. I think that's where I tick and where I thrive. So it wasn't a huge jump. It was just a few more, I guess, a little bit more volume in some of my sessions, and making sure I really did at least one big session in the week, like as the marathon session, and then the others were just like still get to work on the fast twitch and I get my big long run in. So the jump wasn't massive, but yeah, I just think it's just having a really good, well-round balance of everything. And I just think, and just knowing your body and knowing when to pull back. And like, I feel like the more you do this thing, like the more you're going to learn about your body. So
Mm.
it's just making like smart, being, you know, using your intuition when things don't seem right. Just pull back. It's okay. Like, we've got, you know, it's okay to have some rest time. It's probably a good thing.
I mean, and also with endurance racing, it not only requires a hell of a lot physically, but a hell of a lot mentally. Like you
Yeah.
said, with you had some
Mhm.
demons that you really had to fight through
Mhm.
mid race. How do you prepare yourself psychologically before stepping up to that start line?
Yeah, I just think, like we said earlier, I just think, for me, I just need to underthink. So just to remember, like, this is why I race a lot. So, like, because obviously, like, let's look at Boston Marathon, for example. That was, you know, in April. And before then, I'd done so much racing. So when I got to the Boston Marathon, I'm like, oh, this is just another race. Like, this is just any other race. Like, I've done all these races so far, and I'm here at the Boston Marathon. But I think I was just so relaxed about it. I genuinely felt, I've never felt so relaxed. Like, but I think, I don't know, like the racing, like that's why it is good to have a few before your A goal. And then when it comes to do your A goal race, it's not as scary. It's not scary anymore. It's like, okay, I'm ready for this. Like, I've seen that I've had some good results, and I'm ready to now have a good result in the A goal race. And
Mm.
I think just having that relaxed mindset, not overthinking the process, just being like, right, I'm here, I'm ready, I've done the training, let's go, you know.
Mhm. And when training and racing do both get super tough, what continues to motivate you to not stop?
Yeah, I just, yeah, again, pull out your why. Like, remember, like, why you love to do it, and like, remember your goals, no matter what they are, small, big, scary ones. Like, just remember, like, why you want to do those goals, and just keep them in mind. And I think keeping those in mind, like, make me get out the door even on the worst days. Like, and I also have to think, like, my competitors, they're not out, they're not slacking, I can't either, let's go, I want to be a
Mhm.
world beater one day. Like, so I just have to keep that in mind and not make excuses. And I always, if, you know, when I do have those days where I'm unmotivated, they're not normally the ones what I get the most out of, and I'm like, wow, like, you know, like, you get so much more from those days. And like, but yeah, don't get me wrong, like, we all have them, it's normal. But it's just remembering your why, I think. And just like, and then if you do struggle in those days, like, having people hold you accountable, having a good support system, they'll get you through it. And I think that's the main thing there. Yeah.
And do you find that, you've obviously got an incredibly strong support system with Nick and the others that are around you. How integral have they been in helping you with this breakthrough that you have had with your running career?
Yeah, so integral. Like, I owe it to everyone in my journey from the very start to now. Like, they've all, shaped me in some way. My previous coaches to like my past teammates, when I was young, to New Mexico days, to Australia days, and to now. Like, I just think if you're around so much greatness, you're probably going to be great yourself. And I have been very fortunate in that sense. I've had some amazing teammates throughout my career, and yeah, wherever I go, I look, I see greatness, and I'm like, yeah, like, it's inspiring. It is. And this running community is amazing, and we can see it everywhere we look. Like, no matter what level you are striving for, like, there's greatness all around us. And I think that's incredible. And we just get so much from each other. And yeah, and obviously the circle is very important. And like, they're massive, like, especially through the bad days. It's like, if you've got someone like, who bets on you no matter what, no matter if it's a bad day, good day, I just think that's so important. And especially in this relentless sport, it's really good to have people there who are gonna be there no matter what.
I mean, you've already had an incredible year so far, incredible career. What are the next few big goals for you?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's so hard to say, but yeah, I've always got goals. But I guess, like, big goals are going to be, obviously, like, I at least one British record. I've surely got to get one in my career. Frigging hell, they're hard. But thank you to Paula Radcliffe and Ailish McColgan and people. They made it very, very hard in the UK. But I will do my best. And then I just want to come away from it and just be like, when it's all said and done, I want to be like, you know what, like, it was hard, but I had a bloody good go at this thing, and I learned so much in the process. And just be like, being motivated to all the people around me along the way. And just yeah, there's so much to this. There's so many layers to just achieving a time or a British record or whatever that is. It's just, there's so much more. So I just think I want to continue, like, yeah, inspiring people along the way, and then hopefully one day, like, keep continuing the coaching side as well and giving back. And there's so many goals, but I think ultimately, um, there's many layers to these goals, which is fun. I love it.
I love that. If you had one piece of advice for your younger self, what would it be?
Yeah, I guess, I know, like, it's a classic, but really do enjoy the journey. And I appreciate that it is going to be like this, and that it's okay to, like, you actually get so much from the failures. Don't like worry about the failures, because they're going to make you so strong. It's not all meant to be PBs and and it's not all straightforward. And I just think your circle as well, again, like, we've just touched on that, but like, your circle's so important. And make sure you have people that understand your goals and your vision. I think they need to understand your vision, and if they don't, like, it's not, no one's worth it. If they don't understand your vision and why you want to do this, then get a better coach or get someone who does, because there are people what will support you and your vision, what makes sense to you. And don't worry about going down the conventional route. That's okay. Like, we're taught to do certain things a certain way, but you don't have to. If it makes you happy to do a different route, do the different route.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. You've been amazing.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that.